Hey guys, so this is the next episode of Around the Table GTA. Um, Last episode was episode 13, so to kind of put it on more of a positive light, to push away the negative energy, to switch it up a bit, I'm going to talk about miracles. So, there'll be the mention of God, the universe, and all of that, and just general positivity, right? Because I started this podcast more to start off as a beacon of light, just to get people to kind of think of the better things and kind of open up their mind as well, right? Recently, let's say the past 2 weeks have been really, really good to me, right? So I'm all out here. I'm thanking God. Some people thank God. Some people thank Allah. Some people thank the universe. A lot of people are different when it comes to beliefs, but it all started 2 Fridays ago. I was at work and I stepped on a board with a nail on it, right? And what's so crazy about it is that the nail pierced through my shoe completely. So I have pretty thick soles. It went through that, and then it went through my soles. But because of how wiggly and loose the nail was, it went through my entire shoe. But last second, it missed my foot, right? So I was completely shocked. That's definitely a tetanus shot, and no one's really trying to go into the hospital right now with all the cases and people getting sick and all of these different versions of what, right? We're avoiding the algorithms here, right? So, when good things happen, when miracles happen, whether you think that's a miracle or not, it always starts off something small, right? Whether it's something big like that nail, or you're walking and you find some money on the floor. That doesn't really happen as much anymore, at least on this side of the planet, mainly because a lot of people are staying inside, but also like we're pushing more and more into a cashless society, right? And that used to be something that was more of a fictional thing, but the more and more time goes, especially with people trying to be more sanitary, we're becoming cashless. But I remember when I was small, you'd find like $1 on the floor or a quarter on the floor. Sometimes you find like $5 on the floor. Or if you're you're a bad person, you find a wallet. That's free cash right there, right? It's the small things. Like even another thing that happened to me recently, I've lost my wallet maybe 3 times in the past 8 months, and every time I find my wallet and everything is in there, whether it's my credit card, whether it's personal information. I'm a person that believes that you should always have money on you, right? I'm not scared of getting robbed. If I get robbed, I get robbed, right? But I always have money on me, so my wallet had all my money in it, and it happened 3 times, right? What are the likelihood of you losing your wallet, especially if it's on public transit, especially if it's downtown, right? Like where I live now, downtown is getting pretty disgusting, right? There's a lot of fiends. If you don't know what a fiend is, it's a person who's addicted to drugs, right? So can you imagine losing your wallet where there's drug addicted people, and somehow all your money is there, all your information's there. No one's doing credit card scams on you. Like anytime I lose my wallet, I disable my credit card, right? It's a new age where you could disable it and then enable it, use a transaction. So I was doing that for a bit, and yeah, no one's stolen my info so far, right? So that's something that's major. So I went from like small to major, right? And I'm a big person on, when something good's happening to you, at least share it, right? You have to be careful who you share things with too, right? Because there's always secret haters, but there's also a thing where if people are super negative, and I don't know, it depends if you're spiritual or not, or religious, or whatever you believe in. Sometimes there's bad things with people, right? So sharing certain information, sharing something good with it, you know, the person might be happy for you, but whatever is causing them to be in distress, whether, you know, you think it's mental health, or if you think they're demon possessed, or if you think that they have a bad energy, or if it's like a family curse, right? There's a lot of different things that people believe in, and when you dive into these things, it becomes a bigger topic. But I guess I'll save that for another podcast episode. But you always have to be careful with who you share news with, right? It could completely change your outlook on stuff, right? I feel like I'm usually a pretty positive person, but I'm not always positive, because that's fake. You can't always be happy about everything, but I'm positive for the most part. But if someone wants to be real, I'll be pretty real with you, right? And sometimes people find it's harsh, or, you know, how could you say that? But there's things that, if it's the reality, that's the reality, whether you want to sugarcoat it or not, right? I could go on a huge tangent, but if I started this tangent, this would be, I think, the longest episode of my podcast. I'll probably save it for when I do have a guest. Recently, I've been talking with a lot of different people, and I have a coworker that we're on the same side of the page for a lot of things, but a lot of things we do disagree with as well, right? So I think maybe every other day after work, we're arguing about the same thing, but we're on completely opposite sides, right? And that's something I do love, because a lot of people are part of like a get along gang where, you know, if you don't agree with me, then you're a bad person. And life wasn't always that way, right? Social media's pushed that very, like, that it's been pushed so much that it's actually very sad to see how friendships and families are getting destroyed because people don't agree with something, and they're so upset that they just want to cut off everybody in their life. And that's not how the world is, right? It shouldn't be how the world is anyways. You're not going to agree with everything 100%. People will fight, and just because someone views something differently than you, it doesn't mean that they hate you, right? And I don't know where in the internet, I don't know if it's the internet, I don't know if it's the current school system, I don't know if it's what people are consuming on TV that's pushing this, but it's very dangerous, and I guess I'll save that for another episode as well. But yeah, you know, there's nothing that's so serious that I can't say nothing, because that's kind of ignorant as well, but there's a lot of things that when you stop and think about it, I don't think it's worth losing a friendship or breaking a bond with someone, right? I don't know. I think it's just my views on a lot of things too. So, like I said, I'll save it for an episode with a guest, because it's something that I think I'd rather discuss with someone, right? I'm talking to the void of the internet right now, and there isn't many comments on my stuff yet. So maybe if you drop a comment, we could discuss it in the comment section, or yeah, that'd be great. You know, it could be an idea for another episode. But, you know, these are little things, and these fights also can have breakthroughs in your mindset, right? You can talk to someone about something and it'll completely change your mind. Like today, I had a very weird dream, and it's kind of inspired me to do a couple of episodes, and that dream kind of shook me. And I think it came from a discussion that I had with someone. Like today I took the bus, and I've been avoiding public transit because I'm not trying to get sick, right? And if you've taken public transit, especially with what's happening in the world, people are still very like unsanitary, and it's crazy how unsanitary people still are with what's going on. But again, that's another episode. That's going to be me ranting, right? But these breakthroughs, they could be seen as miracles as well, right? I had a discussion with someone. I was just like, wow, I've been avoiding the bus, and I've spent so much money in transportation because I'm just avoiding getting a car because I'm being complacent, right? And it just put my mind in a spiral of it, just a big spiral where I'm thinking about so many other different things now, right? I'm so glad that the weekend's coming where I'll have more time to focus on these things and change the direction of my life, right? And this is all because I decided not to take the Uber home and just take the bus today, right? So, miracles happen in different ways, right? And sharing your blessings, like, I'll tell you another cool story. Basically, last week, was it last week? It might have been last week or earlier this week. Last week, I took an Uber to work, and I was Ubering to work. And the Uber driver, we were talking, and I was talking about like change and difference and stuff. And he was talking about how he got scammed and he's locked out of his account. And I'm like, it's not that bad, right? It's bad, right? Because this guy, he made like 38K, right? But it was a Forex scam. He can't move, like he can't withdraw from his account, but the people who set up his account can't withdraw from it either, right? And I told him, like, you have to kind of look at the bright side where you've learned how to invest this well. Like, this guy's made like almost 50K in less than a year, right? So I told him that you could always use that experience and you could do it again. It does suck, but that's the thing about success. That's the thing about overcoming things is once you do it once, if you're able to do it once, in your mind, you will know that you could do it again, right? A big thing that's like me, I started cutting out some social media, and I've just been focused on too many things, but I've been able to get to good goals, right? When it comes to working out, when it comes to running and everything, and it's stuff that I've done before, right? So it's just kind of like you're a little bit rusty and then you're getting back into it. Like I was talking to someone at work where I told them I was playing this game and I quit because I reached my target goal for that. And recently I've been having too much free time, so I'm like, hey, you know what, let me go play the game. Let's see how far I could get. Let's see if I'm still good at this game. And I'm pretty much almost the exact same rank I was a year and a half ago when I stopped playing, right? I still have that potential. And that's going to tie into another episode. So I'm going to save that content for that episode. But it's those little things that open up your mind to possibilities, and that in itself is a miracle, right? I do believe sharing your experiences, especially with people you love or care about, it can help magnify their life. It can help magnify your life as well, because when there are people who are generally happy for you, generally wanting the best for you, there's a feeling inside when you share these things, and it just pushes you to even go further beyond, right? Like Dragon Ball Super, go further beyond, um, do more, right? It's not only your own happiness, but you're magnifying everyone around you as well, right? You're being a beacon of light, a beacon of hope, right? And depending on what you believe in, you everyone has their purpose, right? And you being able to fulfill your purpose or having that blueprint to do more and be better inspires others, right? I think I've talked about this before. Like last Christmas, I ran into my cousin and I haven't seen him in 15 plus years. And he was telling me all of these stories that he was dealing with and like, being on the block and him being the first one of his group to go to school. And originally his friends were trying to clown him. Clowning means like make fun of him, honk honk, right? About going to school. And he just was like, do you guys want to live here forever? Kind of thing. And him taking that step to go to school magnified people around him to also pursue that or to pursue more, right? Because it's not hard to be a block boy. Well, it is hard to be a block boy, but you could be a block boy or you could be bigger than your environment. And that's the light that he brought to the people around him, right? In my closing statements, there's times where you want to dim your light. If you read the 48 Laws of Power, sometimes when you're doing a lot, you're doing too much, right? You're escalating very quickly. You don't know who's against you. You don't know who you're threatening by doing well, right? And when you do too well, when you gain too much favor really quickly, it could be bad, especially if you don't have a foundation or you don't have people by your side. People will try to throw you under the bus. Like I've experienced this a lot as well. And I've been able to recover from it. But it's something that's very hard, right? Sometimes I see myself as Icarus, I flew too close to the sun, but I'm the type of person where, I'm not going to disappear like Icarus. I'm coming back, right? I'm coming back. I'm like a dandelion. I'm everywhere, right? So sometimes you have to dim your light, and that's to protect yourself. That's to protect people around you. That's to make sure that you can get to your finish point, right? Where you are destined to be. And, the journey it's a long journey, right? Sometimes the best advice is to go talk to someone who's older, someone who's tried to do something that you've tried to do. And just see what's happened in their life. There's a lot of knowledge that people are missing out because they think it's fun to make fun of old people, or they're delusional because they're racist, or they don't know how to do this thing that we know how to do, or they lived in a different era so they don't understand what we're going through, right? I could go on a big rant about racism, but I don't want to. Not on this episode. I'll save it for a guest, I'll save it for a guest or someone who wants to talk about that topic, because I'll just go a little bit brief into it where, the extremities of racism are completely different in this era compared to other eras, right? And it is something that's hurtful. It's something that people don't really like to talk about, especially because everyone's experience is different, whether you're white, you're black, you're Asian, etc. Right? There's so many different types of people. It's something that's hard, and whether it's as extreme now or before, there's different ways that people have dealt with it, right? So don't forget that, miracles, big or small, we should appreciate them. It's blessings from God, uh, the universe, whatever you believe in, right? And share your good experience with people that you care about. Um, it could change your life. It could change their life. It could bring out something that they're destined to have, right? But you could be that initial fire, right? That light for them, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, the light that's there when you need it. That spark to get you started, right? Um, I'm gonna shout out Steven again, coolpics.biz, if you want some freaky stuff. Freaky, not freaky, like more like unique. Check out the site, you'll know what I mean by freaky. He's working on my logo. I gotta hit him up, like I said in the last episode. But for now, you'll have a stock image. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.